The following public comments were made by Chris Hume on October 5, 2022 at the Lancaster County Commissioner meeting in Pennsylvania. The background was a case wherein the commissioners approved a use of eminent domain for a new prison facility. In this case, the landowner was fine with the use of eminent domain, but the concern of the commenter is with the principle underlining eminent domain, namely that the state owns all the land.
My name is Chris Hume from Clay Township here in Lancaster County. Thank you for your attention, commissioners, and I'll keep this as brief as possible. I'm speaking today as a concerned citizen of this county, and I'm speaking about the county's use of eminent domain, and I want to make those concerns public. First, let me make clear that I understand that the use of eminent domain regarding the prison property could be considered more of a formality. I understand that. My concern remains because using eminent domain, even simply as a technicality, grants the practice legitimacy. What is eminent domain? It is the claim that the state is sovereign over all property within the state. It is this unbiblical claim that lies at the heart not only of the state's supposed claim to property, but also the scandal that is forced property taxation. Government leaders who propagate this claim will give an account to the rightful sovereign of the land. The earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof. Psalm 24, verse 1. And as the rightful sovereign, the Lord has not granted to you men the right to exercise his prerogative. God's law forbids the moving of landmarks. Deuteronomy 19:14. The use of eminent domain is also condemned in the narrative of Naboth's vineyard and the tyranny that the Israelite kings would inflict on the people. 1 Samuel 8:14, he will take the best of your fields and vineyards and olive orchards and give them to his servants. As I mentioned, I know you say in this case it is a formality. That may be so. However, the ends don't justify the means. It is this unprincipled approach to government that has gotten us into our current mess, an approach which leads men to grant legitimacy to humanistic pagan practices when it is truly, of course, in the best interest of the state, and then later complain when these very practices are used against them or their interests. For example, this unprincipled approach leads Republicans to endorse theft via forced taxation to the tune of billions of dollars to fund K-12 education, and then complain when Biden or Bernie Sanders want to fund the next 4 years as well. On what consistent basis can you oppose it? You have granted the premise that the state owns the land and, in essence, owns the children. I contend with you this morning that if you use eminent domain, you approve of the pagan, humanist, and quite frankly, Marxist concept which assumes the state is the true property owner of all the land. So what if you only choose to use it on rare occasions? You grant the premise. You lay the groundwork, as others have before you in this nation, for commissioners in my children's future to use eminent domain for other purposes. After all, Parsons, DiAgostino, and Trescott did it. Why can't we? I can already hear some responses. Eminent domain has a limited history in this nation when the interests of the state are truly in view, and this will save taxpayer money, etc., etc., etc. Precedent means nothing, ladies and gentlemen, when the practice violates God's law word. When man's law goes against God's, even in the form of the Fifth Amendment, you must obey God rather than men. Christ has all authority in heaven and on earth. Legal theorists and county commissioners do not. As such, I respectfully urge you to repent of the use of eminent domain both now and henceforth. The ends do not justify the means, and I plead with you to speedily submit to God's law word concerning your duty as civil magistrates. Thank you for your attention.